know, and I'm so excited that you let me put my face back into your place. So listen, I need to tell you a little bit about the video that's coming up. Are you ready? Hold on, wait for it. Yeah, a little bit of a channel identification thing, if you will. So I want to tell you a little bit about these videos, because the truth is that I have made tons of videos over the years, and some of these have some really good content. And so I wanted to share them with you, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about them so that you would be kind in the comments and not ask me things like, well, why are you talking to people in the video, et cetera, et cetera. However, if you're in the vicinity of the comments section, now would be a great time for you to tap that subscription button and tap that bell so you'll know when I'm putting out fresh content. But like I was saying, some of these videos have been shared with my Facebook group. Some of them have been shared with clients. Some of them have been shared with programs, and I want you to have them. So do not rip me apart and say, Stephanie, you're giving us bootleg videos. No, I am not. I'm giving you videos with good quality content that may or may not have been previously viewed. Okay, now let's go. What's going on? What's going on? Yeah, so we've got like a little bit of ambiance happening. We got stuff. Let me see if I can get a little bit closer to the natural light. Let's see. Does that help us? I didn't turn the big lights on, and so I'm like, oh, but I'm a little dark. I'm almost tempted to get up. What's up, Gigi? I'm almost tempted to get up and turn the big lights on, but if the lighting's okay, then we can rock with it. If it's a little too dark, I apologize. So last night was a learning experience, right? So we used the messenger rooms, we used the chat, we used the class function, and then I found out what I think I already knew. Yeah, there's no recording. And I thought that wasn't fair, because some of you have told me, thank you so much, that it was a good class, that the information was meaningful. And so I'm going to redo it before I head out, which is right now. So nevertheless, hi. All right, just a few housekeeping things though before I get into this. If you were here last night and you decided to come back, thanks so much. If you catch this on the replay, okay, awesome. If you are still trying to get your hands on my box, which has the retreat and private coaching and all kinds of like amazing stuff in it, you can get it today. Today's the last day. And yes, we are doing custom payment plans. So, you know, if you say, hey, you know, I got to feed like a family of 78 tomorrow, and this is all I have, great. Let's put it down. Let's get you on a payment plan so that if you want to come and learn about the 6 superpowers that are necessary for empowered success, that is hustle-free success, no hustle, no grind, you can do that. Okay, great. So, all righty. My notes are here. Oddly enough, y'all, usually I throw my notes away. Like after I do a live, I throw my notes away because I know that we already have the recording, right? So it's like, okay, if I needed to go back, I would. But I kept the notes, so we can get into this. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Can y'all hear me okay? Is the music a little loud? It feels a little loud to me. Our old school R&B, you know, New Jack Swing, 80s, 90s, 2000s, you know, all that stuff we used to drop it low to, you know, that stuff. I get excited. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it because I only have so much time. I want to be done by about 11:30. Hopefully that means it'll be short enough. For those of you who want to catch it on the replay, you can catch it. All right. So drop your comments, drop all of this. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm hoping you can. I see there might be a little bit of a drag, but we're going to make it through. We're going to press on. All right. All right. So the reason why I wanted to, this is a part of kind of my holiday empowerment series where, you know, listen, the holidays are the time when people like to try to reemerge. You know, some people have been gone for a while and maybe they detached and maybe they ghosted or maybe whatever. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing, but if you're in a situation and you feel like, you know what, this isn't working, we're going to talk about breaking up. And we're not just going to talk about breaking up romantically. We're going to talk about professionally, personally, the whole nine. Because there's very few things that I say that you can't apply across the board in your life, right? So we're off to the races. Y'all ready to go? Put ready in the comments. I'm ready to rock. So, you know, like I said, breaking up is hard to do. There's a whole song about it. You know, people say it all the time, yada, 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 yada. Breaking up is hard to do. And I feel like that's true because, first of all, we were taught to value the length, but not the strength of a relationship. All right. That's what we were taught to value, the length, but not the strength. And so a lot of times we are seeking longevity, regardless of the dysfunction, regardless of the incongruencies, regardless of the imbalances. We're seeking length. We want to be able to say we've been married for 10, 15, 20, 35, 40 years. We want to be able to say we've been friends since kindergarten. You know, we like, or friends since college. You know, we like to say things like that. We like to put length on something as a validation of how great it is. And I'm like, just because it's been around a long time doesn't mean that it's healthy and doesn't mean that it needs to continue to stay. You know, in the words of Nia Long, in the epic saga of Love Jones, sometimes all we have is all these years. Y'all know what I'm saying? If you know what I'm saying, put yep in the comments. So another reason why breaking up is hard to do is because many of us get engaged in this fairy tale mind flip. Okay? Thank you. Thank you so much. Gigi's a glutton for punishment because she's back again. I hear Luda. I'm back again. So we get into this fairy tale mind flip, and that means that we are focused on the happily ever after, which means that what happens is that if you've ever seen the first Frozen, some of you have small children, so you've seen the first Frozen. I have it on my DVR. I do not have biological children, but let me tell you something. When Elsa builds that castle out of ice, talking about let it go, I feel her in my soul, right? But the other sister, can y'all remember? What's the other sister? Not Elsa, the other sister, not the one with the gift, the other one. Oh God. Anyway, y'all tell me in the comments. So when she meets the prince, remember when they're about to open up the gates? So there's this whole narrative around I believe it's Elsa. Yeah, Elsa is the one. Anna, thank you. So there's this whole narrative around Elsa, and she has this gift, and it's been hidden and locked away. And in that, she was separated from her sister Anna. And so, and then and I don't want to be team spoiler. So anyway, through a series of events, right, they end up closing the gates to the city. And so at some point, they decide to open up the gates, and everybody's all excited, right? Especially Anna. And so Anna meets a man, a prince, and they have this chemistry, and they're finishing each other's sandwiches. That's what I was going to say. You can see I've seen this like many times. And so, you know, the chemistry is there. And so in Anna's mind, in Anna's mind, this is it. Like, I met the one. Look at this. They opened up the gates. My prince came. We connected. And now we're going to live happily ever after. Only to find out later, he's not a prince per se. More so a son of a... Anyway, so that being said, she went into the fairy tale mind flip. Now, we can't judge Anna because many of us have been victims of the fairy tale mind flip, and not just in romantic relationships, but in professional relationships. You know, think about when you met somebody at work the first day and they seemed so awesome. And so in your head, this is your new bestie. This is your buddy. We're going to be bumping arms and shoulders and sharing and everything, only for you to find out down the way that they don't necessarily jive the way that you jive. They like to do things a little bit differently. And it just doesn't work for you. Like, this is not a person that you want to be closely aligned with, even though they make you laugh, even though it was a great connection. Y'all been eating lunch and, you know, and she'll watch your classroom or what. Why am I going teachery? Okay. But anyway, but then you find out, you know, her motives might be different. His motives might be different. So again, it's not just about when you meet somebody relationally. Yeah, some of y'all know it. Some of y'all know. And maybe that's the professor in me, having met many of my colleagues saying, yeah, oh my God, they're so cool. Only to find out, you know, months down the way that this person is not mentally stable. And that really happened to me, guys. That's a whole conversation like later. But Yeah, my colleague was not mentally stable. And though she had professed that, you know, she hadn't given me the depths. And once I saw the depths, I realized that this is not a person I should be closely aligned with, because she likes to play games at people's workplaces. That's not what we do. Okay, great. So we've got the length versus the strength. We've got the fairy tale mind flip. And then comes in the misplaced loyalty. This is why breaking up is hard to do, because sometimes we are looking for a payoff from our loyalty. Where is the ROI for me being loyal, for me being the ride or die chick, as I told you I have been in previous seasons of my life, because that's the role that my people-pleasing identity decided that it wanted to pick up for us to navigate that. Well, y'all, I look really skinny in this jacket. I don't know. Is it me or is it just my skinny head? Y'all can tell me. Anyway, so in that, I will tell you that, you know, I spent 10 years in a romantic relationship that I wanted out of in 6 months. Oh, the joy of being in your 20s. But at some point, I'm like, okay, well, I put in all of this time. I've been loyal, whatever. You know, I've done this. I've done things. And some of y'all saw that live. I did things in that relationship that could have changed the entire trajectory of my life, trying to be loyal. And then at some point, y'all know I'm just so, that was lip gloss. You know, I'm so mean. Like, it's just like, some on my lip. Let's get it off. But in that, sometimes we start looking for the ROI on this loyalty thing. Like, okay, so I've been holding you down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. We're going to at least get married? Like, can I get a last name change? Can I get a form? Can I? And truth be told, I was common law married. Like, truth be told, I was common law married. And not because we were together so long. That actually has very little to do with it, as the 𝗵𝗶𝗀𝗀 case for common law marriage in Texas. So, and we're moving. But those are the 3 reasons why breaking up can be hard to do. Because we're not looking at the strength. I think if I hone in on that just a little bit longer, if you'll indulge me, okay, just a little bit longer, we've got to begin to evaluate our relationships based on the strength, based on balance, based on reciprocity, right? And if we do that, if we sit back and say, okay, you know, a tool that I like my clients to use, add, subtract, multiply, and divide. I got it from somewhere, I can't remember where, but what we say is, you know, let's say the situation is having this person in my life, okay? What do they add to my life? What do they take from my life? What do they multiply in my life? And what do they divide me from? These are real questions. Again, we have to get really comfortable with self-vulnerability and asking ourselves real questions and giving ourselves real answers. You know, self-transparency. It's real easy to lie to yourself. Anybody ever lied to themselves? You can tell me. You can just, okay. Just me? Okay, fine. That's fine. I've lied to myself. I've deluded myself. I've made decisions that didn't put me first. I've compromised myself. If any of this sounds familiar, just say, you know, it sounds familiar. You know, hey, it is what it is. And so, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll tell you how I came up with that. You know, I know people that have been married for quite some time. I know a lot of people that have been married for quite some time. And then when you get into the narrative of their relationships, it's like, I want a part of that. I don't want to be able to say that we've been together 18 years and 14 of it was pure hell. I don't want to do that. Now, again, marriages have other ebbs and flows, and that's fine. But I'm like, I don't want to be consistently navigating toxicity and dysfunction. Oh, and you think I have to do this because we signed a piece of paper and we are legally bound together? If anything, that should be the reason why we don't want to navigate dysfunction and toxicity, why we want to bring our best selves to the table. So that when we say we're doing life together, it's not just a cute little euphemism that people say. Like, we're doing life together, we're growing together. So we can go together. We're evolving together, not devolving together. A lot of people in marriage don't leave room for growth. And when we don't leave room for people to grow or to heal or to transform or to have what I now call belief autonomy, which basically means you have the right to believe what you want to believe without chastisement or dire consequences, then that's why the relationship goes, if we grow together, we can go together, period. But that's what I'm saying, is that when we begin to inventory our relationships and we say, okay, this is what this is bringing, this is adding, this is subtracting, this is what it's multiplying, this is what it's dividing, you know, and we see good things, okay, great. You know, one of the greatest questions I think we can ask ourselves about a relationship is, who am I in this relationship, and do I like that person? I can tell you for a vast majority of my adult life, I did not like who I became in my romantic and platonic relationships. I didn't like it. I didn't like it. Because remember, I'm a recovering people pleaser. So I'm doing a lot of things. I'm trying to maintain control in the midst of this, but I'm also making a valiant effort to do what people think or want so that I can be liked or loved or cared about or earn my keep or show my value or my worth or whatever, you know, mind flip, you know, I was on at the time. Now, there are some schools of thought that say that, you know, being a people pleaser is manipulative. I don't think, you know, I think that's people pleasing 2.0. I think those of us that can relate now in hindsight to being a people pleaser weren't trying to manipulate anything. We were just trying to avoid pain. You know, we weren't trying to, we were trying to control situations, but we weren't saying, okay, I'm going to do this so I can get what I want. It was more so, I'm going to do this so hopefully they'll give me what I want. And it was a different posture. But nevertheless, throw that out there. So if we decide that we need to break up with someone, what do? Well, I told you last night that we have an entire website called We Just Broke Up, 𝑊ejustbrokeUp.com. And I found it so funny last night when I was preparing. That's me scratching my leg, if you hear that, with these long nails that won't stop growing. I was like, oh yeah, they could go to this and they could get the breakup book. And I'm like, so I tested it and it was like, nah, about that. And I'm like, the website is gorgeous. There are resources on there. There are articles on there. So, I mean, you can still go and surf around, but you just can't get the breakup book. You'd have to send me a message or something and say, hey, I want it. Because for whatever reason, the developer didn't connect it to our MailChimp, so it would be automated and come to you. Not sure what that is. I might dig into that later. But anyway, @WeJustBrokeUp.com. And so in that breakup book, there are 5 steps. I'm only going to give you one because this is the one that most people overlook. Okay? And this step is detachment. And the thing of it is that, you know, when we decide that something needs to come to an end, oftentimes we don't detach from it. We start trying to re-navigate the path. We start saying, well, if we're not going to walk like this, we can still walk like that. And I'm like, listen, now detachment could be a week. It could be 2 weeks. It could be a month. It could be a year. It could be a myriad of things, right? But detachment needs to happen. And not just in personal or romantic breakups, professional breakups as well. We have the right to separate ourselves or to break up from the level of relationship that we have. See, all the time, meme wisdom will have you going, but meme wisdom will have you thinking that you got to cut people off because they're just not like you and whatever. And whatever, they breathe money, cut them off. And I'm like, pretty soon you're going to keep cutting folks. You're not going to have nothing in the meme, just going to sit there and laugh at you. Because like I said before, use the memes. Don't let the memes use you. Always check in. Always check in. Always turn inward. No matter what external data you have, turn inward. Because I'm telling you, a meme will have you out here just bad. Memes will have you out here bad. Seriously. Y'all ever had a meme do that to you? Like you're right in that mindset that it's like you see the wrong meme and it's like, boom, you know, everybody can get some and you're off to the races. And it's like, how, Sway? From the meme? Is that, you let the meme do you like that? So before you detonate, assess the situation. Like before you start napalming, turn inward, please, 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 please. Before you turn on everybody, turn inward, or turn to yourself. Turn to yourself. Don't turn to your neighbor. Okay, this is a church. Turn to yourself. Like look in and be like, is this for me? Did I just happen to see it at the right time? Is the message for me in a particular context? Am I about to apply this mean wisdom in the wrong way? Because it happens. Use the memes. Don't let the memes use you. Okay? So when it comes to professional breakups, I'll say this. They are necessary. They are a right. And they are not a failure. Like I said earlier, oftentimes we may connect with somebody professionally and then come to learn they don't exactly vibe like we do. They don't exactly have the same moral code. I've been there. Like, no. I don't want to do business like that. Oh, well, all you got to do is this. I had a friend that she was so, and she's a former friend, but she was so enamored with appearances that, this is back when we had two-ways, and I thought I was a big deal because my two-way played in the club. Because, nothing was like as is now. Oh, no, it said That was my two-way. Okay, so I have my two-way. And she's so enamored with appearances that she said, here, she's a celebrity publicist. Here, this is Usher's home number. Put it in your two-way. Why? So basically, if somebody saw me flipping through my two-way, if they were looking at it, that I would be inadvertently flexing that I had Usher's number in my two-way. And that made perfect sense to her. Over time, though, what happened was I got roped into her shenanigans. So the interesting thing, the last thing I heard that she had the audacity to say about me was that I was shady. Me? Okay. She's the shady one. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I was like, I had helped her do things, and I'm not saying like completely unscrupulous, like, low down dirty, but things like, hey girl, call these people and tell them you're my assistant. I'm not your assistant, but in the essence of helping your girlfriend out, fine, I'll be your assistant for the next 5 minutes, because she wanted things to look a certain way. She was so sprung on appearances. And I was like, at some point that just became exhausting. Even now, she's still like that, because I'm looking at like certain things and I'm like, now I don't consider her a friend, but as Facebook would have it, I think we're probably still connected or something like that anyway. For now. Okay, so you understand the pain, right? So as it relates to professional breakups, listen, there are people that I know professionally and love professionally that I would never want to do business with, that I would never partner with. Simply because the level that they play on, the level that they think on, the level that they process on is not where I am. And so what would happen is we would be at loggerheads because I'm saying to them, they still want to, for a lot of people, they want to own like a worker. Me, I want to work like an owner. Those are two different headspaces. I work like an owner means that I delegate it. That means that I get things done. To own like a worker means that ultimately you're going to try to do it yourself. Does that make sense? Owners get it done. Workers do it themselves often. And so there's a disconnect. So even like when I'm coaching people sometimes, I have to go into United Nations level negotiations to convince them, hey, you need to build out your team. And the first thing you need to get is an assistant. And the next thing they shoot back to me is, I can't afford it. And I was like, how do you know? Have you investigated? No. So those type of things, if I was in a partnership with somebody, would be very frustrating because we're trying to move the ball, move the needle, and mentally we're just not clicking. Nothing wrong with it. That's the level that they're on. There's nothing wrong with being in 4th grade, but I'm in grad school. So needless to say, the things that I know somebody in 4th grade doesn't know. By that same token, there are people who are in the doctoral program. But I know, right? I heard it. I'm like, no, walk away. Like, walk away. I was listening to, you know what, as a pause really quickly. Okay, I got like 5 minutes. You know, I was listening to a song the other day. I don't know what it was. It came on, what is it, XM, Sirius XM. And the girl's lyrics said, "I am nothing without you." And I was like, I don't know what this is, but we shall not listen to this anymore. Because, no. That we're not going to put that type of energy into a relationship where I'm nothing without you. No, I'm everything, and you make it better, and I make it better for you. Like, for me, it's about Fabulous. You know, Fabulous' song, you know, Fabulous with a little snaggle too. You make me better. I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we're together. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be nothing without anybody, because that's just not what we're doing here. That season, that was a show. It did air. The season finale happened. There won't be a reunion. I'm just going to keep saying that because it makes me happy, right? Okay. I know, right? Let's see what's... Now it's the kissing game. I'm like, yeah, all right. I don't mind the kissing game. Kissing game is fun. But we're not going to be all caught up in the kissing game to the point where we can't make these decisions. Because like I said, sometimes we are way too excited about the length and not excited about the strength. But here's the thing, guys. When it comes to breaking up relationships, you know, listen, sometimes we end and sometimes we mend. You know, sometimes we got seasons, cycles, layers, and levels. Sometimes a cycle in a relationship comes to an end. And that's cool, right? Maybe we don't want to exist like this anymore. Maybe we are both coming into an awareness that we need to heal, and we're both taking steps to do that, personally or professionally. You know? Maybe somebody has decided to heal from their understanding of what money is and the energy that they have put into money and the blockages that they have created around being paid for the work that they do. I personally believe that you should be well compensated for doing work that you love. You know? But people have to grow into that. A lot of times we weren't taught that. I wasn't necessarily taught that, but it is an understanding that I came into, like, I like it here. Hence why I quit my good job as a professor to be full-time Stephanie, because this is what I was called into, and I was called out of what some would call that zone of excellence into this zone of genius, because this is all I do. All I do. Every single solitary day. So I'm excited about that. But like I said, when it comes to it, sometimes we end, sometimes we mend. And listen, if we end, you know, I'm always about being open to evolution, to changes. So we may end now and mend later, if you want. People change, people evolve. Situations are different. You evolve, you change. Listen, the truth of the matter is, as much as people want to put up all these memes about people being toxic and all of this, I'm like, we can all be toxic. I can be toxic. You can be toxic. Your favorite cousin can be toxic. Your mama can be toxic. I mean, we don't want to talk about that sometimes, but it's true. My father could be toxic. God bless the dead. You know, but we've got to get to the point where we stop saying, "Ooh, you're toxic, bye." Well, are they chronically toxic or are they acutely toxic? Those things matter. But see, we won't ever get to that point if we're not taking the time to ask real questions and be vulnerable with ourselves. Okay? Now, I will say this when it comes to romantic relationships, and I saw this a lot when I was younger, and I even see it professionally when I'm working with couples. Listen, we can't break up on Friday and be friends on Monday. And I said that really country. But we can't. We can't break up on Friday and be friends by Monday. We can't. It's just not going to work out. Detachment is the one step that most people avoid, and it is the most important and the most impactful to the breakup process. But what happens is often sometimes we feel like the bad person when there's a breakup, when there's a separation, when we feel the need to move away from someone, we feel badly about it, and so the guilt starts saying, well, you know. And the next thing you know, listen, the next thing you know, y'all are being friends. And then the next thing you know, by Wednesday, y'all are having dinner. And Thursday, you're having breakfast. And the breakup never happened. There's a reason why we break up with people. Hopefully they're valid reasons. Hopefully they come from a lot of reflection and not just knee-jerk reactions to take our power back, right? But if that's the case, so in this, I'm assuming that you all listen and that you're healing, that you turn inward and all the good stuff that we talk about in here. And so you're not making knee-jerk reactions to just kick people out of your life. So that being said, honor the decision. Detach now. Okay, and that may mean even just going completely silent, which may seem cold. You may feel like, oh, I'm abandoning people. Oh my God. I'm like, no, you're not abandoning people. You're getting quiet time. You're taking that solace and that silence to reassess. Because listen, you know, there's an opportunity in everything we experience, right? There's an opportunity to learn. Now, I know I've said this and caveated it. Oh, I'm over time. Okay. But I've caveated this with when people engage in criminal behavior against you, that is not for you to learn a lesson. That's not what that is. Okay. That's not what that is. In fact, that's a whole different live, and I'm not going to get on that, but know that I'm conscious of what I'm saying, right? But when it comes to what we're talking about, breaking up with people that we've been in relationship with, that we've been in connection with, you know, we learn from the loss. What's going on, Stephanie Denise? I know I'm not talking to myself. That's my cousin. We learn from the loss by grieving the loss. And I'll tell you, one of the worst mistakes I ever made was not grieving the loss of a relationship because I thought I had. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so thirsty. Alkaline water with additional electrolytes. So y'all never told me. I feel like I look really skinny. Is it just my head? Y'all can tell me. Is it just my head? I'm feeling like, feel a little sunk in. Okay. Could it be the stripes? Maybe it's the stripes. I don't know. Anyway, nevertheless, in order for us to learn our lessons and to honor the fact that we felt like we needed to disconnect from this person, we got to grieve the loss. You know, we've got to grieve the loss of this person not being in our life, no matter how dysfunctional, no matter how toxic. There is this misinformation floating around that if a relationship was toxic, chronically toxic, thank you, chronically toxic or chronically dysfunctional, that you don't have a right to mourn that. Of course you do. If only for the fact that you're mourning the loss of what you thought was going to happen. You may have thought that this person was going to be with you, was going to be faithful to you. And like I said, you don't have to cheat with another human being to be unfaithful. Maybe they put work above you. Maybe they put their goals and aspirations above you. Maybe they put their family above you. You know, they didn't bring a balanced perspective into the relationship. You get to mourn that. All right. And like with any grieving process, it's going to be the way that you need it to be. But my thing is, I need you to know that you need it and to take it as long as it takes. Because at the end of the day, I want you to be able to do one thing, and that is do better, not bitter. Some of these people that we have disconnected from, or that have disconnected from us for whatever reason. I mean, honestly, sometimes the disconnection, the detachment is not about you. It's not about me. It's about whatever they're going through in their life. So sometimes these people may come back in. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. You probably will get text messages or you might get an email from somebody. The holidays have a way of bringing people back around because you know what? Instead of going WYD, they can say Happy Thanksgiving, stranger. How you doing? Are you home? Did you come home? Are you here? Or my favorite, how was your Thanksgiving? See, again, this is a very innocuous way for someone to reintroduce themselves into your life. And I'm asking you to consider doing better and not doing bitter. Do better, not bitter. Because if you haven't taken the time to heal, to learn the lessons, to grieve the loss, you may not recognize that the person that's coming back to you is not the person that you left. That business partner may have changed. They may have evolved. They may have decided they're going to embrace a different mission. There may be an opportunity for you in reconnecting with this person, but if you haven't done your work during that detachment, then you will do better. You will do better and not do better. I want you to do better. I want us to do better. Relationships are such a beautiful part of our lives. And learning to navigate them, learning to honor ourselves within relationship is amazing. Okay, so I want to encourage you guys to do that. Okay, 11:35. Thoughts, comments, anything, drop it. I think I've reminded you guys enough times. The box goes away today. The minute I hit my destination, the box goes away. Today is the last day for the box. So if you haven't, you're welcome. No, thank you for hanging out. If you wanted to grab a box for the retreat is December 4th and 5th. It's going to be 3 hours roughly each day. 6 hours with me. 6 hours, 6 superpowers, empower success. 2022, best year yet, because that's the year of hustle-free success. The hustle is canceled. Put a halt to the hustle. It's over. Okay? All that hustle stuff is over, right? All right, guys. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for hanging out. If you're catching on the replay, drop your comments, drop your questions. I'll be back. Have a beautiful Thanksgiving, whether you celebrate or not. Tomorrow is Thursday. Calendars say Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with yourself, your family, your friends, whomever. My name is Stephanie D. McKenzie, and I'm the lead coach of the firms, also an empowerment coach and abundance mentor, and I get to spend my days teaching high-achieving coaches, owners, and leaders how to shift into more money, love, and purpose with my rallying cry. You know it. 4 words. Be your own superhero. So from the bottom of my heart and the depths of my soul, I want to thank you guys so much for loving and learning and breaking up and maybe even getting back together with me.